Okay, get this. Today's deep dive is going to be a little different.
Oh.
We're going on a journey with a math-loving dragon.
A dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're diving into this really unique children's book.
Okay.
It's like, imagine Goodnight Moon, but meets like Cosmos, you know?
Interesting combination.
Right. And our guide through all of this is Zoran the Dragon.
Zoran the Dragon.
He helps us answer some pretty big questions, like
what?
Like, can numbers really unlock secrets of the universe?
Okay, yeah.
And reveal hidden parts of our personalities? We're also going to look at if there's a connection between math, music, and the cosmos, like Pythagoras believed.
Right.
And of course, we got to tackle the Fibonacci sequence.
Oh, the Fibonacci sequence.
Why does it pop up everywhere?
That is a good question.
What's the deal with that?
It's definitely unusual to use a children's book as source material. But this one's packed with some pretty complex ideas.
Yeah.
It's all presented in this really playful way. And then you add Zoran, a dragon guide, and it just adds a whole other layer.
So before we get into all the mind-blowing number theories, let's meet Zoran.
Oh.
He is not your average fire-breathing, treasure-hoarding dragon.
Oh.
Treasure-hoarding dragon.
What's he like then?
Well, he actually starts off causing a lot of trouble in the British Isles.
No.
Yeah, but then he has this life-altering epiphany.
Really?
He realizes that true freedom comes from inner peace, not like conquests and stuff.
So this mischievous dragon goes on a journey of self-discovery.
Exactly.
Where does he go?
He travels east and discovers meditation and dives deep into the universe within.
Wow.
Just picture a dragon, like, chilling in the Himalayas.
I'm trying.
Inspiring people like Confucius and Lao Tzu.
Talk about a change in perspective. Wreaking havoc to Zen master.
So once he's enlightened, Zoran decides to share his knowledge.
His knowledge of numbers.
Okay.
He starts with the basics.
Yeah.
You know, natural numbers.
Whole numbers, integers, all those building blocks of math.
Right.
But you can tell he's getting ready for something much bigger.
Like he's laying the groundwork.
It's like he's saying, hey, before we unlock the universe's secrets, let's make sure we're all on the same page.
Exactly.
And then from there, he dives into, well, the Fibonacci sequence.
Oh, there it is.
You remember how that works, right?
Each number is the sum of the two before it.
Yep, so we have 0, 3 5s, and so on.
It's beautiful.
It's supposed to be everywhere in nature.
It is.
But I gotta admit, I'm a little fuzzy on the details.
So what Zoran does really well is highlight those real-world examples.
Oh.
He talks about flower petals.
Okay.
Seashells.
Right.
Even spiral galaxies.
Wow.
They all exhibit this pattern.
So it's like this hidden code in the universe.
It's like the universe is speaking to us through math.
But is there a reason this sequence is everywhere?
Well, that's where things get even more interesting.
Okay, tell me.
The Fibonacci sequence actually leads to this thing called the golden ratio.
Oh, I've heard of that.
You have?
Yeah, isn't that like the most aesthetically pleasing proportion?
You got it.
So like artists use it and stuff?
Artists, architects.
Okay.
Even nature seems to favor this ratio.
Really?
Think about the way leaves are arranged on a stem.
Okay.
Or the spiral of a nautilus shell. It pops up in the most unexpected places.
So how does this golden ratio connect to the Fibonacci sequence?
Well, as you go further along the Fibonacci sequence,
Okay.
the ratio between two consecutive numbers, it gets closer and closer to the golden ratio.
Oh, interesting.
It's like the sequence is converging on this perfect proportion.
So we're seeing how those numbers have these wider implications?
They do.
But Zoran doesn't stop with patterns in nature, does he?
No, he doesn't.
He takes us to space, right?
He does.
He describes the movement of planets as this cosmic dance.
Is larger than
he uses that to explain some pretty complex concepts.
Such as?
Like orbital mechanics.
Oh, wow.
So are planets literally dancing in space?
Well, it's a metaphor, but it's a really powerful one.
Okay.
He uses it to introduce Kepler's laws.
Kepler's laws.
Of planetary motion.
Oh, yeah, those laws that describe how planets move around the sun.
Exactly.
It's been a while since high school physics.
I know, right?
What's so important about Kepler's laws, again?
Well, one thing that Zoran points out is that planets move faster.
Okay.
When they're closer to the sun.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's like swinging a ball on a string.
Yeah.
The closer it is to your hand, the faster it goes.
So it's not just random. There are actual laws governing the movement of these celestial bodies.
And Zoran even touches upon orbital resonance.
Orbital resonance.
That's where the gravitational pull
between
planets can create these rhythmic patterns.
Rhythmic patterns.
And their orbits.
Wow.
It's like synchronized swimming, but on a cosmic scale.
So even in the vastness of space, there's order and harmony.
It seems that way.
Dictated by numbers.
That seems to be Zoran's point.
Okay, so what examples does he use?
He talks about the asteroid belt.
Go.
And how Jupiter's gravity has created gaps in the belt because of this orbital resonance.
So those seemingly random asteroids are actually part of this.
They are.
Like mathematically choreographed ballet.
That's one way to look at it.
That's pretty wild.
It is wild. And you know what?
But
Zoran doesn't stop there.
He keeps going.
He takes us from the dance of the planets
to
the edge of understanding.
Okay, what's at the edge of understanding?
Infinity.
Oh, wow. Now we're getting to the really trippy stuff.
Right.
We're talking about infinity.
He explores the concept of infinity.
Okay.
In the vastness of the universe.
Okay.
And in the infinitely small.
Right.
He wants us to really consider a universe that just keeps going.
Forever.
Forever.
That's a lot to think about.
It is.
It really is.
But then he throws in this other thing.
What?
Gord Cantor's work.
Oh, what did he do?
Well, he showed that there are different sizes of infinity.
Hold on. Different sizes of infinity.
Yeah.
How is that even possible?
Well, think about it this way.
Okay.
The set of all whole numbers is infinite, right?
Yeah.
But so is the set of all points on a line.
Right.
But Cantor proved that the infinity of points on a line is bigger than the infinity of whole numbers.
Oh.
Mind-blowing, right?
So there are levels to infinity.
Levels, layers, it gets pretty complicated.
Yeah.
But what Zoran's trying to do, he wants us to understand how infinity challenges our usual way of thinking.
Okay.
About boundaries, about limits.
Right.
He even brings up zero.
Zero?
As a bridge between the finite and the infinite.
Oh.
He talks about absolute zero.
Okay.
Point where all molecular motion stops.
Complete stillness.
The ultimate stillness.
So zero represents nothingness.
In a way.
But it can also be a portal to the infinite.
It's all about shifting our perspective.
Okay, I could see that.
And speaking of shifting perspective.
Yeah.
Zoran introduces fractals.
Fractals, those trippy repeating patterns.
Those are the ones.
Like those images of the Mandelbrot set.
Exactly.
It's like looking into a psychedelic kaleidoscope.
They're visual representations of infinity.
Okay.
Within a finite space.
So from the vastness of space to the infinitely small, numbers are the common thread.
That's what Zoran's getting at.
Connecting everything.
And then he brings up Pythagoras.
Oh, Pythagoras.
Here.
The triangle guy?
He was much more than just the triangle guy.
Okay, but yeah, the Pythagorean theorem is pretty famous.
It is.
So how does Zoran present him?
He presents him as this philosopher.
Okay.
Who believed that numbers were the essence of everything.
Like a cosmic code underlying reality.
Exactly.
So he wasn't just using numbers to measure stuff.
No.
He was trying to decode the universe with them.
That's the idea.
What else did he do?
One of his most fascinating discoveries was the connection between math, music, and harmony.
Wait, music?
Yeah.
Like Beethoven and stuff?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with numbers?
Well, Pythagoras found that specific mathematical ratios created the harmonious sounds we hear in music.
Oh, wow.
He experimented with string lengths and realized that certain ratios produced pleasing intervals.
So there's a mathematical basis for why some sounds sound good together.
It seems so.
That's really cool.
It is cool.
So he thought these same mathematical harmonies
were
present throughout the cosmos.
Throughout the cosmos.
Influencing the planets, the structure of the universe.
Yeah. So for him, numbers weren't just tools.
Yeah.
They were the language of the universe.
Wow. Okay.
And that brings us to
what?
Numerology.
Oh, numerology.
The idea that numbers can reveal deeper truths about ourselves and the universe.
So that's where we get those things about numbers from your birthday and name.
Exactly.
Revealing stuff about your personality, your life path.
Like those numbers hold a secret code.
A blueprint for who we are.
Exactly.
What we're meant to do.
So before we dive into the specifics of numerology, Zoran introduces Carl Jung.
Jung, the psychologist.
The one and only.
What does psychology have to do with numbers?
Well, Jung was fascinated by the symbolic power of numbers.
Okay.
And their connection to the unconscious mind.
The unconscious mind.
He believed numbers could reveal things about us.
Okay.
Things we might not even be aware of.
Like what?
Our personalities, fears, desires.
Wow. So he's taking this idea of numbers as a language.
He is.
Even further.
He suggests they can speak to us on a deeper level.
A psychological level.
Exactly.
That's pretty interesting.
He was particularly interested in archetypes.
Archetypes? What are those again?
They're these universal patterns of thought and behavior.
Okay.
And Jung saw a connection between these archetypes and numerology.
Okay, so it's not just about calculating numbers.
Right.
It's about tapping into this deeper layer of symbolism.
And how it relates to us.
Okay, I see that.
And Jung even brought in the concept of synchronicity.
Synchronicity. Those weird coincidences.
Yes.
Like seeing the same number over and over.
Exactly.
It's always a bit freaky when that happens.
It can be.
Is Jung saying these synchronicities are connected to numerology?
He believed they could be messages from our unconscious.
Oh, wow.
Often related to numerological symbolism.
So the universe is using numbers to, like, nudge us.
Maybe.
Okay, now I'm really curious about this numerology stuff.
Me too.
What are the basics?
So Zoran breaks down some key concepts.
Okay.
Like the life path number.
What's that?
It's derived from your birth date.
Okay.
And it's supposed to reveal your soul's journey.
Your soul's journey.
Then there's the expression number.
And
that's calculated from your full name.
Okay.
It's supposed to show your talents and abilities.
So different numbers reveal different things about us.
It seems that way.
What else is there?
There's the heart's desire number.
And what does that tell you?
Your deepest motivations.
Okay.
It's based on the vowels in your name.
Oh, wow.
And there's even a maturity number.
What's that?
It combines the life path and expression numbers.
And that tells you.
It suggests your potential as you grow.
So many numbers, so many layers.
It's like a personalized map of your life.
And is that all of them?
Well, there's also the personality number.
Okay, what's that one?
It's derived from the consonants in your name.
All right.
And it reveals how others perceive you.
Wow, that's a lot to take in.
It is.
How do we even begin to make sense of all this?
Zoran uses a real-world example to help us understand.
Okay, who?
Leonardo da Vinci.
Oh, Da Vinci. I know him.
So his life path number is 4.
Okay.
Which is associated with practicality, discipline.
Yeah, that makes sense.
A structured approach.
I can see that.
He was known for his detailed observations, meticulous studies,
Yeah.
incredible dedication to his work.
So he wasn't just a creative genius.
Yeah.
He was incredibly disciplined.
Very much so.
Organized, too.
His life path number helps us understand his personality.
Right.
How he approached his work.
What other numbers are important in his numerology?
His heart's desire number is 3.
Okay. What does that tell us about him?
That aligns perfectly with his passion for creativity and self-expression.
So his life path number is like his grounded, practical side.
And the heart's desire number
is his artistic side.
Exactly.
And when we combine those,
we get his maturity number,
which is
7.
7, okay.
This suggests that as Da Vinci matured, he delved deeper into philosophical and spiritual pursuits.
That's interesting.
Seeking knowledge beyond the material world.
Which makes sense because he was so curious about everything.
He was.
From the human body to the flight of birds.
You can see it in his anatomical drawings.
Yeah.
His studies of nature.
All those things he explored.
All of those things.
It shows he wanted to understand the universe.
Those pursuits align with the number 7.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
It really is.
How his numerology numbers reflect his growth.
This is making me think about those Renaissance thinkers.
What about them?
They weren't just into art or science.
No.
They saw how everything was interconnected.
True polymaths.
Da Vinci is a perfect example of that.
He really is.
So we've explored Zoran's backstory.
Yes.
Different number types, the Fibonacci sequence, the golden ratio, the dance of the planets.
We've covered a lot.
We even talked about infinity.
We did.
What's next on our number-filled journey?
Well, that's where things get really fun. Zoran throws in some cosmic puzzles.
Cosmic puzzles?
Yeah, brain teasers.
Okay.
They make you think about space and numbers.
Oh, I love puzzles.
In a fun way.
Like what kind of puzzles?
Well, he starts with a simple one.
Okay.
Count the stars in Orion.
Okay, I can do that.
Then he gets a little trickier.
Right.
Like, how many Earth orbits fit into one Martian year?
Ooh, that makes you think.
It does.
About those elliptical orbits.
Exactly.
Does he have any puzzles about the scale of the universe?
He does.
Because that always blows my mind.
I know, right?
So what does he ask?
Well, he wants you to calculate the total number of stars
Okay.
in the observable universe.
The observable universe.
Yeah, and he gives you a starting point.
Okay.
He says there are roughly 100 billion galaxies.
100 billion galaxies.
It's with an average of 100 billion stars.
Okay, that's a lot of stars.
It is?
I might need a calculator for that one.
You might.
It's like he's making astronomy fun.
He is. He is.
Even for people who don't like math.
Exactly.
What other puzzles does he have?
He asks you to calculate the time it takes light to travel from the sun to Earth.
Oh, okay.
Reminding us that we're always looking into the past.
Oh, right, because it takes time for light to travel?
Exactly.
So we're seeing light that left the sun like 8 minutes ago?
Something like that.
Wow, that's crazy to think about.
It is.
We're seeing the path.
The past.
Okay, what else?
He has a geometry puzzle, too.
Oh, a geometry puzzle.
You have to calculate the missing angle.
Okay.
In a triangle formed by 3 stars.
Interesting.
A little reminder that triangles are important for astronomy.
Right. They help us measure distances.
Across vast distances.
I like how Zoran makes those connections.
He does.
It's not just about abstract math.
Yeah.
It's about how we use it to understand the universe.
Exactly.
So after all those cosmic puzzles, he goes back to numerology.
He does. He dives deeper into the origins of numerology, specifically the Pythagorean system.
Right, those core numbers that tell us about ourselves.
He reminds us about Pythagoras.
Yeah.
How he believed numbers were the foundation of everything.
And that connection he saw between math and music.
Yes. Those numerical ratios and musical harmony.
That part still amazes me.
I know, right?
Math and music seem so different.
They do.
But they both rely on patterns and ratios.
They do.
It's like composers with secret mathematicians.
Maybe they were.
And Pythagoras believed those patterns existed throughout the cosmos.
Throughout the cosmos.
Influencing the planets, galaxies, everything.
So for him, numbers were the language of the universe.
Okay, and that's how he developed his numerology system.
About the foundation.
Where each number has a specific meaning.
Vibration and meaning.
And by analyzing those numbers from our name and birth date,
we can reveal all sorts of things.
Like hidden potential
talents, even our life purpose.
It's like a secret code, a blueprint.
It is a compelling thought.
Do you believe in that?
Well, whether you see numerology as mystical or just self-reflection, Zoran provides a really detailed breakdown.
Of how it works. Like how to calculate those key numbers.
Exactly, like the life path.
The expression.
The heart's desire.
All those?
He goes into detail about the meaning of each number.
Okay.
How it might influence our lives.
Does he talk about those karmic lessons too?
He does. He does.
The challenges we need to overcome.
Related to missing numbers in our charts.
So if I'm missing a number, it means I have work to do in that area.
That's the idea.
Okay, give me an example.
Like, if the number 2 is missing, it might mean you need to develop more patience, more diplomacy, learn to collaborate better.
Interesting.
So it's like a roadmap. Showing our strengths and weaknesses.
Does he give any real-life examples?
He does. He goes back to Da Vinci.
Okay.
And walks us through his numerology.
Starting with?
The heart's desire number.
Which was a 3, right?
A 3.
What does that tell us about him?
Well, the number 3 embodies creativity.
Okay.
Self-expression, joy, optimism.
Right.
A desire to connect with others.
That sounds like Da Vinci.
It does, right.
All his art, his inventions, he wanted to create, to express himself.
To leave his mark.
It all points to that.
His heart's desire number shows those motivations.
Those core motivations.
That fueled his curiosity.
Yeah. His desire to explore all those different fields.
It reflects his genius.
So what about those karmic lessons?
For Da Vinci.
Yeah. Were there any missing numbers in his chart?
There were.
Which ones?
He was missing 2 and 8.
Okay. What do those mean?
Well, missing 2 suggests he might have had challenges with patience.
Okay.
Diplomacy, cooperation.
So maybe that's why
possible.
He was a bit of a loner.
Yeah.
And he abandoned projects.
It could be connected.
What about the missing 8?
That suggests challenges.
Okay.
With power, authority, possessions.
So maybe he struggled with balancing his art and the demands of his patrons?
It's possible.
Or the temptation of money?
Could be.
So these karmic lessons aren't about defining our destiny. They're more like...
opportunities for growth.
Yeah, prompts for self-reflection.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've looked at his heart's desire.
And his karmic lessons.
What about his maturity number?
Well, we add his life path and expression numbers. 4 and 1.
Giving us 5.
Okay, so 5, what does that say about him?
Well, 5 represents freedom.
Okay.
Adventure, change, adaptability, curiosity, a thirst for knowledge.
That sounds just like him.
It does, right?
He was always pushing boundaries.
He was exploring.
Seeking knowledge in so many fields.
A true Renaissance man.
It's like his maturity number captures his lifelong pursuit of knowledge.
His willingness to embrace new challenges.
It's amazing how these numbers
I know, right?
Can tell us so much.
It makes you wonder about your own number.
It does. It does.
But before we get sidetracked, Let's see what else Zoran has to say.
So back to Da Vinci's numerology for a sec.
Okay.
We've covered his heart's desire, maturity numbers,
Right.
and even talked about those karmic lessons.
We did.
But what about his personality number?
Ah, yes, that's the one calculated from the consonants in his name.
And what insights does that give us?
Well, it reveals how others perceived him.
Okay, so what was his personality number? Interestingly enough, it's also a 4.
Wait, 4 again?
4 again.
That was his left path number 2, right? Does that mean something, like having the same number twice?
It does. It suggests a strong sense of authenticity.
So basically what you saw was what you got with Da Vinci.
Exactly. The qualities associated with the number 4.
Like practicality, discipline, all that.
Hard work, attention to detail.
You can see all of that in his work.
Absolutely. His anatomical drawings, his inventions.
It wasn't just creative brilliance.
No.
It was discipline, structure, a strong work ethic.
All hallmarks of the number 4.
Okay, last numerology number for Da Vinci.
Right.
His expression number.
Yes, the one that reveals his innate talents and abilities.
Right, and we get that by using all the letters in his name.
Correct.
What was his expression number?
It's a 1.
A1, that sounds powerful.
It is a powerful number.
What does it represent?
Leadership, independence, originality.
Okay.
Ambition. A pioneering spirit.
Wow, that fits Da Vinci perfectly.
Doesn't it?
He was a trailblazer in so many fields.
Art, science, engineering.
He wasn't afraid to challenge the status quo.
He was a true innovator.
So his expression number shows.
It shows that he was driven to create.
To innovate, to make a real impact on the world.
And he certainly did that.
It's like his numerology gives us this framework for understanding his genius.
It's really fascinating.
It is. It makes you wonder about your own numbers.
It does.
But before we go off on that tangent,
Right.
What's Zoran's overall message about numerology?
Well, he emphasizes that it's just one way of looking at things.
Okay.
It's a tool for self-discovery.
Not a definitive answer to everything.
Exactly. It's a starting point for deeper reflection.
So it's not about letting the numbers define us.
No.
But using them to learn more about ourselves.
To grow, to understand ourselves better.
I like that.
So as we wrap up our deep dive with Zoran,
Yeah.
let's remember everything we've covered.
It's been quite a journey.
From basic number types to infinity.
The cosmic dance of planets.
Numerology.
It's been a lot.
What are the key takeaways for you?
Well, I hope listeners see numbers differently now.
Differently how?
Not just as tools for counting,
Right.
but as a language that reveals hidden patterns.
In nature, the universe, ourselves.
It's like we've been decoding a secret code.
We have.
Unlocking hidden meanings and connections.
And thanks to Zoran,
Yeah.
we've explored how those numbers can reflect who we are.
Our potential, our desires.
Just like Pythagoras and Jung believed.
It's all about seeing those connections.
The connections.
How everything is linked together.
The microcosm and the macrocosm.
It reminds me of that Galileo quote.
Which one?
Mathematics is the language in which God has written the universe.
That's a good one.
And numerology suggests
It suggests that those same principles
we're at play within us too,
shaping who we are.
influencing our paths.
It's pretty profound when you think about it.
It is. Okay, before we go,
Yeah.
What's that final thought-provoking question Zoran leaves us with?
He asks, now that you've peeked into the world of numerology,
Yeah.
what number feels most significant to you?
Okay.
And what might it reveal?
I like that. It's a personal invitation
It is.
to explore those numerical connections in our own lives.
Not just Da Vinci's or Zoran's.
It's about each of us.
And what those numbers might mean for us.
It's a call to explore,
To be curious.
to see where those numbers lead us.
Exact.
This deep dive has been amazing.
It has.
I'm definitely looking at numbers differently now.
Me too.
Maybe I'll even give numerology a try.
Who knows? You might discover something new about yourself.
Or make sense of those weird coincidences.
Those synchronicities.
Exactly. Well, thanks for joining us
Thanks for having me.
on this deep dive into Zoran and numerology.
It's been a pleasure.
Keep exploring, keep asking questions.
And never stop wondering.
Who knows what other secrets those numbers might hold.